See what
Here,
they're
that's
doing.
a
That's
loss
what
for a
we
lot
want
of
to
our
know. We don't know what it is.
those that we knew and grew up with. Tonky I was our last one, that I can relate back to. And I'm really
23rd of deadline now.
glad that,
21st, Wednesday.
Oh, gosh.
that
We
we're
could
still
count the
here,
girls
all of us,
within
and
the
our
half
young
of 3 days.
people, need to
Meeting.
still
Casino meeting.
respect and know
We're gonna
who
meet
your
tomorrow at
family
10,
is.
we've got
I'll
about
tell
4 or 2.
my kids, know who your family is. Another thing, know your last name and how to pronounce it right and what it means. And just to me, come on, here comes that guy preaching about his last name. But I'm glad you're all here. And I'm gonna ask prayer at this time.
Yeah.
Say a prayer, please. Open prayer.
Oh, but to me,
Okay.
that's more the housing is going to be in their language.
You.
Executive, that's how the executive,
Okay.
that's how the executive branch.
The dogs.
Man gets mad on the areas, and I don't want to step over.
Our dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you today. We ask you to be with us during this meeting, Lord. Just be with us for the information that we're going to take in from the people here in Arco. We ask you to be with Dave and Ron as they present information to the people. We ask you blessings on the food that we're taking into our bodies, Lord. We ask blessings upon those that have lost loved ones this past week. We ask you to be with those that have lost loved ones in the tragedy that's happened in Florida, to our school children and the teachers. We ask you to be with all our school children as we return back to school tomorrow, those that are in school today, Lord, just put your protection around them. Ask you to be with those that are on the roads, our tribal members, Lord. Ask you to be with our leadership, be with Mr. Kamalti. All these things, Lord, we ask you blessings upon. In Jesus Christ's holy precious name, amen.
Is your agenda?
Wanna
Oh, I don't know.
introduce Anita Ogallwood, Renee, they're part of the body of legislators. Ron, I forget. And a person that I think can play a key role in our relationship of the elected body and back to the people. And I think this first 6 months should probably be the, what they call y'all, coordinators? Okay, and we're gonna probably have to either re-elect another one, or I don't know how that's gonna work out. But
They will have
we're
to
trying to
re-elect
follow
one.
the Constitution the way
They
it
will have to
outlines
re-elect
it.
them.
And I think that's
If
good
there's some
because it
other
gets more
non-standing
involvement.
position.
And that coordinator,
No.
you guys are still the boss. Don't let anybody tell you anything
Chairman,
else.
yes, secretary, yes.
You guys, the Kiowa Indian
But if they
Council,
don't find it,
are
they
bosses.
need to stay in their
And
town.
what their needs are, they relay through these meetings we have.
No.
And that
You're turning
position,
in without the ones
this is
that
my
have-
daughter, I'm very proud of her, guys, that she took upon that role. And it was an open election,
You have to
for
put
400
in
people.
is what they say.
and I'm glad that she's
But they
able to
don't-
bring that,
but
let's
no-
say,
no-
do something for your tribe. Jeff, if you're ready, start
What happened?
Well, it hasn't been
So
decided.
Dave Adam, she's the oldest, and I was harder on the oldest one. Probably why she's where she is. Anyhow, Ron, you got anything to say?
Don't say too much, I'm just glad to be here. I know a lot of you people have concerns, it's been a long, almost 2 years for me. Myself and David will be going out of office in June, there'll be other people coming in. So, while we're working on a few things, we're trying to work on a few bills to get in there. You know, hopefully, you know, we've got quite a few now in there that we have, and I think there's a sheet up there. That's the laws and the bills that, you know, been already enacted, and I'm working on a couple right now. Hopefully we'll get them for our employees, for the tribe, and also construction. Make sure that a lot of the jobs that do come available within our area, we do have, a lot of people understand it, we do have qualified Kiowa people. Believe me, I've seen that. We do have qualified people. And when the tribe comes open and, there's jobs, like I said, to build a new, casino or whatever, or maybe a new complex, we have people out there who are qualified, they have construction firms, and we need to hire our Kiowa people. Been here 2 years, and I've seen that. There's not a lot of our Kiowa people. Sometimes they'll come to our office asking us if there's jobs. I said, well, we really don't take care of, that's the executive branch, that's in the other area, but poor thing, they need work. So a lot of them have come to me, they'll come to all the other legislators. My concern with a lot of it was the employment. I see that, there's not a lot of our young people. I've seen them at casinos that come up, they even ask, well, you got a broom, I'll shovel, use a shovel. I mean, they weren't particular, they're wanting to work, to make $1 to feed our families. But we don't turn them down, even though it may be a different matter for the executive branch, but I'll visit with them. And even non-other tribal members will come in. I've had Wichita's, the elders looking for work. But, so I thought, well, we're gonna develop something, so I was looking at the, and I think Renee will probably elaborate with it also, working on the employment, I believe, Renee, can you help me on that one? The one that we just came up with, that we're working on, it's the Employment, Act that we just posted it here not too long ago. Tracy, maybe can you help me with that? We just posted it last week on the employment. But anyway, we're looking at stuff where people for employment, we got a lot of people call them, they don't have no jobs out there. And they're told they don't qualify. First thing, no schooling, no qualifications. So what we're trying to do, I'm looking at that as trying to do something with that. Also going back to our construction. Let me turn this off. A lot of our construction jobs out there, Duval, Carnegie, we need people out there. These construction companies get these jobs, they'll subcontract. We see Coach and I's out there working. And I don't have nothing against him or the black people, but I haven't really seen Indians working out there. So that's why this other bill, and I visited with Renee and I talked with Dave about it. I'm working on one now, hopefully before I get out of office, I'll get something set up. I'm working with Angela Langville, she's in Terrell. She did a construction type, my mind's blank today. But I'm working on 2 different deals, hopefully that will get something for our people, because I know we're looking at a lot of other things. Okay, it's that, it's the Indian Preference Act that I was looking at. I think they had something there one time before on the Indian Preference Act.
What number?
I think it's number 47. It's on the Indian Preference Act that I've been working on with an attorney. And we're trying to get something going on that one to get us some, like get an Indian preference for Indians first, our tribal members. Second, we could have non-tribal members that may qualify. If not, they will go to our non-Indians. But we need something for our Indian people here. I think that's our biggest concern is we don't have a job, or they don't qualify, but we gotta get some kind of a training for them.
I saw in the paper where you were advertising for a job, and you didn't even state Iowa preference.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what.
And you're right, that's what I'm looking at on this deal here, that we need to put Iowa preference in here.
Because when we have a complex that's mostly full of Comanche employees, then what are you doing for the Kiowas?
Well, that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm working on, hopefully we'll get
So
our
we
Kiowas in there for us.
And maybe the wrong people are making the selection of these employees.
And that, I'm not trying to make excuses for the legislature, because that's over the executive branch.
Well, you gotta remember, we got a chairman that's half and half.
Right, I understand that
He was
too.
gonna go with where he was raised, and he was raised with Comanches.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that. That's why I'm trying to work on this, Indian Preference Act for employment for the tribe. Also, I was looking at the other for construction. We have a lot of people who are construction.
Angela hired quite a few of her Taro employees. It was a few years back on some program we had, which I don't remember. But she had Taro working. Now you see at our casinos, none of our young Kiowa people are working anywhere.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, that's what I was looking at. I've gone to the casinos down there, you don't see anybody, you don't even see anybody in security, maybe one person being in security.
But you
on
know,
other jobs.
it looks bad on all of you as
Legislature.
KDC,
Yeah.
because we throw you off. That's your opinion.
My daughter,
And you know what, there are Kiowas working, there are, over here at Burton, there's, the same ones from the day we started, that's
No,
like.
I'm talking about the complex and the Carnegie Casino.
Now Carnegie has hired almost all Kiowas.
Well, I don't see them yet.
Well, but they opened that up, we should have about 40, between 40 and 45
There's
people.
46 positions.
But we have a lot of guys that can do work that was being done, like leveling off that dirt, going in there nailing up sheetrock and stuff. Where were our Kiowa boys that can do that?
That's what I was saying, that's what I'm trying to
You
work
had
on.
you see those big panel trucks in there. It's all white people or whoever it is that's in there, but it's sure not
Well,
Kiowas.
that's why I'm working on that one, plus the other one there for construction.
That'll be good.
I'm working on that right now, hopefully by the time I get
Any
out.
growth we have, we're well aware of the shortcomings that we have seen since we only been in a year and a half, and a lot of them are new to this. But we're trying to identify improvement in the areas of, where I told Angela, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's fine.
The WIA program, or whatever program that our, Angela has, I said, one that I really stands out at me, when I took a drive throughout the county, Caddo Electric has no brown skin people.
No.
And in Mountain View only, 43 families have Caddo Electric power. Where's our fair share of the workforce? And I said, Angela, we gotta start looking at those types of issues and see if we can improve them, considering it. I said, do we have to go back to low tech, take some type of courses? If we have to, then tell us, because we went down there and visited Caddo Electric. What do we need to do to improve our chances of getting jobs here?
Well, until we can hire Kiowas in our own Kiowa business, we don't need to be criticizing anybody.
Yeah.
you still have to be qualified though.
Yes.
The bottom line is you still have to
Have
be
to come to
qualified.
work.
Well,
You-
you're correct,
you
we have
as
a
a
lot of
young
Indians out
guy-
there, but if they're not qualified, we can't
You
get
as a
on.
young
But
guy
we
have
need
to
do
get up
something,
and
get these
get
people
out
Well, they
qualified.
can be
and
trained.
go to
Indian.
school and get these qualifications that they're required. You can't go to these businesses, these electricians, these construction sites and stuff like that and say, give me a job
Right.
without
We're not
qualifications.
talking about
And
that.
that's why we have the coordinator to express these concerns from y'all to the elected body. And that's the purpose of that position. Come in and interact between the Kiowa Indian Council and the elected body, whatever that might be. And you do it through your resolutions that you brought some, right? And maybe you can explain what your purpose is. Wait, Ron, finish.
Okay, but anyway, June, that's what I was saying, you know, I've been, like I said, I used to work for CETA one time
Yeah,
for many years. In Oklahoma City, I worked here, I got out of the field, and went to law enforcement field. But my main concern, I seen it while I was out, I seen a lot of our Native American people, they could be working, they may not have the skills, but if not, let's work and try to get them these skills.
yeah, he's talking about they don't have education.
Well,
We can get it through VOTEC if you work with them.
Yeah, and you're
Because
correct.
Angela worked with her Terrell people and all those people were out smoothing that concrete
Well,
slab.
they have to get up, in the morning and go and get these trades.
Right.
Those trades ain't gonna come to them. They have to go out and
Well,
get
we
these
know
trades.
that.
Like I said, we got transportation, we got vehicles
Sure.
out there, but let's see what we can do to get them out there and get these people placed. But I looked at for years when I seen that when I was out in the field working, there's a lot of people who are well experienced.
They're not that lazy, they're
No,
not.
but there's a
on the
lot of them, but they
transportation
need to
thing.
be pushed a little bit and get going, and I think we can do that.
Did we try that transportation thing with the Kiowa Casino? Weren't they bringing them from Kiowa? from
Yes,
Carnegie
they
to-
were, a lot of them would not show up, they
And
wouldn't
they
care
didn't
for their
show up to go to
jobs.
work.
And you're gonna have some of them. You're gonna have those. You know, I don't know how many you get, maybe 1 out of every 10, but you're saving one one person out of 10 for a job or something, no. But I will say this, the law does have a lot of Kiowas working there, I'll tell you that, you know, in the human resources there in other areas. I've seen them over there at the Burden, nothing but Kiowas in there. And when we get this casino open here, I understand it's gonna be open pretty quick. Well, in fact, a lot of them I think are already training, am I right, Renee? They're already being trained, and I've seen a lot of them working at the wall, security, their guards, everything. They're fixing to come over there, and I think they're supposed to, from what I hear, March the 1st is supposed to be an opening day. That's just what I heard. I don't know how true that is. But we've been through there, myself, Renee, and Anita, we go there every so often. I think David's been in there and a few others. We go in and make them, let them know that we're around, we have an interest, and they're good to us in there. To let them know, hey, we need our people working, and they're working on it, and this is gonna be a nice place here. It's all paid for, and it's gonna be nice here, and I said, I hope, and we talked with our people that are working there, to stress them, you got jobs, stay on these jobs. But they work a little while and they'll quit, make a few dollars and they quit. And that's why a lot of times, it makes it look like we're not harming, but they won't stay on the job. I don't know, maybe they need counseling or whatever, you know, when they work or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very important. I was always told, you know, when you want another job, you look for a job when you got a job. You don't look when you don't have a job. But anyway, getting back to that and getting back to the other one on the construction, preference, I'm working on that with, Angela. I went and picked up some, following procedures she's working on the other day, and I picked up her ordinances. We're gonna look at the ordinances and try to get that going, because she can find people. She can put a fine on these people if we don't have that very many Native Americans working in these places. So if people get out there and do their jobs and look after our people, I think we'll have a better chance to get good jobs. Kathy?
Maybe one of the things I'd like to suggest to add to that, what Judy's saying is, one of the things say, get a job, you know, the, company or wherever they're working, maybe they could, or even the tribe can introduce some type of a training benefit for them in these areas that need to sustain them in those jobs. You know, different types of a day, workshops or a conference that they can attend, because that's what helped me in my job with the government. We always were in training.
Right.
And those things were instilled in us, that these things had to be done and taken care of while you're on
That's
the
probably
job.
something that the
Something we can
HR
introduce.
director could see, that once these people go on stage, she's not putting them on. How about when you have training for your employees, include these people in there too? To update them. There's always an update, you've been around it in the government too, like me.
Well,
There's always an update all the time of things
And
coming
all
out.
kinds of stuff.
Work with the company and go on the job, right?
Right.
Help me.
And another thing that I was wanting to see too, I was kinda hoping we had that, and I got a friend that, lives over in Shawnee, he works for like one of our, like Persian people here, your alcohol programs. They have a re-entry programs over there that we don't have here on this area. Re-entry for people getting out of prison, maybe for robbery, maybe some other types of offenses that are felony offenses. But when they get out, they're just thrown out into that world again, and they don't know where to go. No one's helping them out there. So I was gonna try to get a hold of a guy named, his name is Mr. Bartell. He's Kiowa. He works for the, absentee Shawnee. Bert Bartell is his name. I don't know if y'all know him or not. But he's supposed to be calling me back. I said, is there anything that you can do to come down here and talk with our Kiowas about a reentry program for our people that are out there? Look at them in Kearney, in Arkansas. I mean, we see them here, but no one's doing anything for them. I think you could put them to work. They've got good skills, but nobody looks at them because they're alcoholics, they ain't gonna work. But you gotta work with them. You just don't give them a job and expect to be there every day. You gotta work with them, like the lady said. You gotta train these people, get them involved in them. So hopefully, before I'm out of there, hopefully I can get maybe him to come down and talk to the tribe about a re-entry program for our alcohol people, not just alcohol, but other programs that they have. They can work with CASA. I think they can work with KNAP. Those programs can get together and work for something for our fellows out there. Hey, these people out there, they have a lot of knowledge. See, some of them are educated, well educated, but there's no one out there helping them. So that's what I'm trying to work on right now. I know a lot of the other legislatures have different areas that are concerned about. That was one I really got involved in, to try to help out, call on. A lot of them come into office and they want jobs. And I wish I could just say, okay, let me get you down and get you a job like I used to. I don't do that anymore. But,
What you think about the temporary services, you know, for the farmers that need help,
well, a lot of your state programs have that temporary services day by day.
you know?
Well, I
Clean
think,
the house or something, come in. That will work.
I think, HR, Claudia, if I'm right, she does put that on the board, like temporary services, day or two to work.
They have
Yeah.
that.
They're not that in the program, I believe now.
Yeah.
But we've
Well,
got to
you
find
have
something
to
for
go
those
look
people.
for the jobs for them though,
And you know what, they can get picked up permanently, even if it's temporary, pick them up permanently. And that's what I tell them, when you want to do your best job, dress up. You need to dress up, the cows will talk to people, be clean, go out there. I said, they must say, hey, because when I was a job developer for years with Steva, I used to tell them, it may be a 2 or 3 day job, you get out there work, and they come and say, hey, you want to hire this man permanently, this lady permanently. You sell yourself to these people, you sell yourself to these people. That's how you gotta get out and do it. Dave, you can,
Yeah, just expand a little on that, guys getting out of prisons or whoever. We didn't have that program, and I said, Angela, I think the Comanches have it. Go down there and see how it was organized, what was put in place, because we need it. And on a personal issue, I said, I know what that means, because I had a loved one that got out, and he couldn't get any help anyplace. And as family members, we got so tired before they went in, they bothered us, they drank and they did this and whatever. And my son was a parole officer when he got out of the CO, correctional officer, is that what they call him? Anyway, he got into that program. He said, Dad, they got them all over. You just gotta know how to put them together. He said, the best one he saw was the Potawatomis. I said, really? He said, yeah, there's programs that try and give with some type of federal funding to support it. I said, well, we needed that, but
Well, the
people come down
Apaches
there
have a
all the time,
rehab
needing help. So anyway, that's what I told Angela, we gotta put something in place. Too many of our loved ones are coming out now, they need work, they need a place to stay, they need to live in quarters. It's why, I get
Angela,
angry
you
about
have a
that.
lot of experience in it, 'cause I remember she had some good programs.
Yeah,
well, she used, I'm sorry, she used to run 3 departments. To me, she couldn't be really effective, about 33%. She's got terrible. I visited her the best, you know what? And I invited her to some of our meetings with, I think KCOA would have meetings with her, construction. And I said, you know what, you need to get out there and make sure that they get our Indian people hard. I said, it's important how hard you work. It's like these reentry programs. These reentry programs, I got introduced to that when I was in law enforcement. And then when I had the SORNA program, the Sex Offender Registration Program. I used to go to Eastern Oklahoma and train up there, show these people about the SORNA program, Sex Offender Registration. And that's how I got acquainted with Mark Patel. And what they do, once they get out of prison, they'll even help you get your first job. They'll set it up for you, they'll give you money to stay and eat for 6 months, they'll buy all your, let's say you want to be in welding, you're a welder, you need welding equipment. They'll buy everything for you. It's a one-time base deal, and they'll get you an apartment, they'll get you a place to live, they'll give you food, transportation every day. We can have that program here too, if we can get somebody to come down here, like Mr. Portell, and explain that to us. And he would work with us to get some of our people off the
Yeah,
streets.
we need to keep them out of prison
Yeah.
and stop.
And it's got nothing to do here. I've got a relative right now in Jay, Oklahoma, a nephew, working up on a chicken farm after he got out of prison. Well, the chicken farm's through now, and he's in jail and don't know where to go. Nobody wants him. But these people can do things, they're acceptable, they can do good things, but nobody does anything with them.
he, since Persian established here, he has helped a lot of guys that do have the same circumstances. They get out of service and after a while, jobs are scarce even for those guys that are available all the time. They get into the market and they struggle. And my grandson has come over here a few times, well, how's he doing? He said, hey, we need guys like you.
He's on the go now. He's getting better, he's got a house.
Got a house.
But all these things take time.
Yeah.
Take time, just like the government here, we are in re-entry. College tribe, we were buried for what, 5 years, 6 years?
That's right.
Yeah.
We're re-entering.
Yeah.
That's what I was wanting to bring up on Persian. He came to us several years ago. Didn't have very much, but he had an interest in
I
our
know
people.
it. He's been working on it a long
Got
time.
with the chairman and I think with Dave, a few of us got together, and Anita, and Ben, all of us worked together to try to get a place for him. He had no place to go. Well, you know where he's at now? We got him a place in here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cora. He was
We
at
got-
his house.
Yeah, and for him, but with the help of them, we got him in here, so I don't know, I can't speak but he's helped a lot of people now.
Yeah.
They got we have to get a library up here. We got it where they get on the computer and do things. A lot of these people are very computer literate, but a lot of are learning from him, and he's really helped them out a lot. And I thank Persian for that.
Yeah.
When he needs help, he'll come to us and we'll help him. But see, that's another program that he put on here that nobody thought about, but he got in it. This man had problems too at one time, but he looks at what's happening with his life and look how he's changed, and he wants to help other people. And that's what we have got to do. We
He
can't
could
leave our,
work with Angela,
yeah.
you know. and-
There's a lot of things they can work with to get help for these people. But it takes a lot of people to do it. And like, Dave said, it takes time and first, it's not something overnight. But I just hate for something to stop, like whenever, me and Dave get out, we hope some of the deals don't stop, we hope they continue. But we don't know, new administration, what happens, I don't know. But I know as long as we're here, we try to do it the best way we can.
Yeah.
And with y'all's support, I mean, even when I get out, so I can help you, I have a lot of resources with people. I'll be glad to do that. That's like I said, we have good job for our people.
I think that's one of the things that, we ought to consider as KIC, just to know that this is a slow change.
It is a slow change, you're absolutely right, it's not gonna, well, I talked to Renee about that too. People think that when we come in, we should just change everything, but they don't understand. A lot of things happened in the past, and we gotta clear up, but at the same time, we gotta take care of today's matters as well as the old ones. But we can't let the new stuff go away either, we'll get behind.
Exactly.
So we try to work on both of them, so hopefully, like I said, everybody work together. I know there's a lot of people get upset with one another, but that's our worst enemy, is ourselves. And we get behind, look at the black people, look at the Hispanics, look how Eastern tribes are producing. We shoot ourselves in the foot because we don't do things in here. And Kathy was right, you've got to understand it's a slow process because these things that were here, we didn't bring them in here, we're having to clear them up. And there's a lot of things, just like with the Bureau, I worked with the Bureau many years, and Jen worked, look, a lot of things that might have messed up when she worked, you gotta clear up those messes. Robert's worked at places too, he probably had to come in and clean other people's messes up, it happens. We gotta clear up these things up. But anyway, I'll let David finish up here, but, I am trying to work on that before I get out, hoping we'll get those laws going and they'll make it mandatory, these laws are gonna be available. And like I said, we got a bunch of them, if you'll pick up a copy of it, you see the laws that are there, they're present. Anita, you got a question back there?
Well, I just want to say a statement, I talked to a person the other night about it. I
Okay.
found out it's Brahms. I had introduced a resolution when we were still KBC concerning the veterans tags. And I made a suggestion,
you're
a
right.
resolution that the tags would go down for veterans to $10. And I don't know if that has happened, because I don't go buy a tag. I'm not a veteran, so, but I had a concern, and I don't know if they've gone down to $10. They have.
Person, have you heard anything about that, or anything, person?
I asked someone, I said, what that cost you, you told me that's so good to get down.
What about the deal on the fast travel going to the casino? I'm gonna tell you, I never go, and I decided I'd go. I was gonna get on a fast travel, and you'd think I was a Carl.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Was it
The
like,
same people go, is there any way y'all can work it out where people can take turns?
probably we could talk with the transportation, who that's under, and find out.
AOA, you need to talk with AOA.
Whoever
AOA handles that.
I was so
We're talking
shocked.
Monday night, right? Monday night,
I went one
Kiowa
time,
Day.
and I don't think I'm gonna go
Kiowa
again.
Day.
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah. AOA handles all of that. We could probably visit with them or something,
Well, can
I
you,
guess.
Yeah,
can
we
you
can.
talk to them too?
We could visit with some of these other people like to go.
Maybe write up a supports the issue or.
Something
And
we
I
could look
didn't-
at.
I didn't wanna say
That kind of spread
nothing,
around with the people, so the same
because
ones.
I didn't wanna say anything much, because they'll say, you're related to Mac, well,
No, that shouldn't be that way.
they are,
Well, it
they
is.
are.
That's something you could bring to her and tell her that, hey, can everybody get a chance, equally get a chance to go to Duval one night, get a free meal and play some games or something
I was
instead of
really
the same
looking
one?
forward to it,
Yeah.
man.
But that's a good question you could ask.
Okay.
I don't like to complain, but.
No, that's not a complaint, you got a right to.
No.
You got a right to.
There was a resolution submitted from Tulsa, and she wants the Kiowa tribe to consider having a transportation system for Kiowa Day from Tulsa. And she gave me her resolution. She said, I want KIC to really think about this.
It's a good thing, I'm happy.
And
I've got real bad people that were real poor, I knew they wanted to go.
I have a question.
For y'all.
Well, they got a hotel now, they can stay around in the hotel.
Yeah.
Maybe
I would
someone
discount
would
the hotel.
consider.
Discount at the hotel.
That's the deal right there, for elders when they go, get a discount. Those are some things that you can ask, right? That's a fair question, that's a fair question.
Ron, maybe somebody in this group, District One, mostly are from Anadarko, maybe could write up a request a resolution to do that, and make another night, it don't have to be Monday night, maybe we work some out with Tuesday. But Monday night is,
Kiowa Day.
the casino, it didn't say what, however you done, and the AOA took it upon herself to take them down. So I would say, write one up, and ask for another night. See what we do.
It don't hurt anything to ask.
Okay, I forgot to introduce
Burnett,
the two back there,
Burnett and Carrie.
Anita,
Renee and,
Anita and Burnett,
the two here, Renee and Anita, they're two of the legislators also. There's a total of seven. Total of seven legislators there. And one is at large, goes all over. And I think we should change that a little bit, add to it or whatever. Seems like a less area,
Mm-hmm.
more units.
I'll give about two in there, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanna make sure that we get to your concerns and your issues. And I'll introduce her next, but I'd like for Barnett to come up here
Burnett.
and,
Talk about the election.
about the election issues, the timetable. And there's handouts here of the timetable right there. And maybe we can cover it all that.
Burnett Dumoff, get the election commission chairman. We've been in our position a little bit over a year. I think January 7th, 2017 is when we were sworn in. It's been an adventure, needless to say. You know, prior to us coming on board, we were basically shut down. And a lot of people's opinion, because of the mistakes that the previous then election board had made to put us in a bad spot. So we come in and we did everything that we've done is in black and white that we've done, and we were criticized. We were talked bad about, obviously, and we stuck to our guns and did it in black and white. What our ordinance tells us to do, what our constitution tells us to do, etc. And we're still doing it the same way. we have a new constitution. We have new guidelines that we have to follow under that new constitution. But whatever guidelines that don't cover under the constitution, our election process, we still fall back on our election ordinance. In the very near future, we are gonna change that election ordinance. We're gonna change that election ordinance to an election law. And there's processes that we still have to go through for the Constitution, but we're just gonna modernize it. We're working off a document that was made in 1973, 72, 73. A lot of changes have been made since that time, but they've never been put into the ordinance the correct way that they should be. They've just been put on the back page where you just kinda gotta flip back and forth to look back and forth, and we wanna modernize a lot of things. So that's our goal going forward. And that should happen, probably within the next couple of months. We enjoy working for our people. We have people with good hearts and good intentions, on board right now. We have, Carrie Juanita, is our secretary, Dr. James Kennedy, he's an emergency room physician out of Oklahoma City. He is the vice chairman. Us three have been on board for the duration since last year. We have Jackie Santacoy, who many of y'all know from the powwow circuits. Again, good heart, and she's learning. She's kind of like what we were when we first came in. Didn't have a clue, but it's easy to do if you know how to read and follow directions. Really easy to do. And then we have a much younger gentleman, Scott Walker, who came in same time as Jackie did, a little bit after. But he's very young. He's early 20s, and those are the people who we really need to push as adults, older adults. We got to get our younger people involved. They don't want to be involved. They don't want to deal with what they've heard from their moms and grandpas and stuff like that. But they need to understand that our tribe is going into a different era, and they have the opportunity to reap benefits that we've never seen. We've never seen the opportunities that our younger generation is seeing right now. We've never been able to call the tribe and ask for help, and I feel like in the very near future, that generation will be able to do that. I really feel that. Our tribe is in a very positive, forward-moving direction right now, and we should all support that. It's a different time. Some of us wished we'd never seen the times that we're going through right now, but it is what it is, and we can't fight it anymore. It's here. We just have to move forward with it. I mean, that just came from my heart. I'm just telling y'all what we've been dealing with as far as the election commission goes. If y'all ever have questions or concerns or something like that you guys don't agree with, Myrna is our clerk, and she will forward me a message and give me your message. I work 4 on, 4 off where I'm at, and I will call you when I get off. If not that day, then the next day. We're pretty prompt on getting back to you guys. We will get back to you guys. We don't want anybody to think that we're running or hiding. We're very as transparent as we can be. If y'all have any questions on what we're doing, please ask. You know, we've seen the articles in the papers and stuff like that, and it hurts us. It really does, because you don't go to the source. You just assume. And that's what divides us as people. And we're all proud people, because you guys made us proud. Y'all made us who we are, you know. And I'm teaching my kids the same way I was taught by my mom. My mom's Lou Dog Mom. So she taught us how to be proud people. And that's how I'm teaching my kids, and my kids better teach their kids the same way. And that's just how we were raised, you know, because that's how my mom was raised, and that's how her parents were raised. We're just proud people, and we're passionate people. We're passionate about what we are, what we do, you know. But anyway, I apologize for getting on that little spiel, but we do have an election coming up. A lot of stuff, another new time for us. It is coming up very quick. We're gonna be voting on our chairman and vice chairman for the very first time for our tribe as a ticket. They have to be, they have to run together, very similar to, exactly like the, president and vice president of the United States. It's a ticket. They have to reside in districts 1 through 6. District 7, when they came out with this constitution, for whatever reason, District 7 was omitted from being able to run for chairman and vice chairman. Hopefully, in the future that will change. Not to take away anything that's within districts 1 through 6, but we also have some very well-educated, knowledgeable Kiowas that are outside of District 6, and we're excluding them from leading our tribe in that manner. And it disappoints me, but it is what it is. Again, we have to follow what the Constitution says. There's some special circumstances that you have to go by that we've never had to go by in our tribe. If you're running for the chairman and vice chairman, probably the biggest one that I would have to say is you have to give us your last 5 years tax returns. That's something that must be handed in whenever you hand in your application for chairman and vice chairman. Districts 1, 3, and 4, Districts 1 being Anadarko, obviously. District 3 would be the Apache area, and District 4 would be just east of there, North Lawton, on up through the Wichita Mountains area. Those are the three other districts that are up for vote. If one candidate has 50% plus 1, then they are declared a victor in the primary. We will have a primary and a general election. Again, that's another new process that we've never done, well, other than last year in our election process. But that is the election date that we've set for the primary. It's going to be May 5th. The general election is set for June 2nd. We are opening up candidate registrations on March 6th, but technically you can pick up a packet registration now. You can pick them up at the election commission office, or you can go online to kiowatribe.org, go to the election commission tab, and download you an application there as well. We closed candidate registrations on March 26th. Then we will post those, and anybody who wishes to challenge the candidates who are there may do so up until April 2nd. And we have to turn around like within 48 hours and make a decision on those. Previously recalled KBC members are now eligible to reapply for a position, which personally I think that's a great idea, because there have been some good people who've been recalled for frivolous reasons, in my opinion. That's just my opinion only. But I think obviously there have been recalls that were justified, you know. So if you have family members that feel that they can't because of their past process, let them know that the door's been opened back up for them. Again, AES is gonna be our ballot vendor. Those guys have bent over backwards to get us to where we're at, back in a positive frame of mind on the election process. They come in, they help us out. They literally will come from Albuquerque, New Mexico, just on a whim for us to help us on anything that we need. They're really great people. That being said, with that election that we have coming up, there's a 99.9% chance that we are gonna have a special election being called within this election over the revised, modification, but budget modification. And if y'all have questions, you can talk to the legislators on that. All I know is, they say, hold an election, we hold an election. I mean, I don't know the details of why we hold elections or anything like that. I know we just do what we're told in a lot of cases. But that is coming up really quick. I mean, we're gonna have an election within an election, literally. So, again, it is what it is, because it's necessary to, keep the tribe moving forward. I think it's a great deal, but, other than that, Carrie, am I missing anything?
Just about our, opening for commissioners
There you go.
from this district.
We do have an opening for this district, District 1. We have actually 2 openings. We need one from District 1, from District 3, and District 5. So if you know anybody in the Apache area, if you know anybody in the Walters, South Lawton area to the Red River, out of those 3 districts, we need 2 bodies.
Elgin, Apache,
And our career.
For the filing fee for the candidates is $150.
We did notify if they're interested. Come to see
On
y'all or the chairman or who?
which one? On what? We're talking
Election committee.
committee. For the election commission, you have to submit a letter of interest to the chairman. The chairman then, if he approves it, then he sends it to the legislators. Legislators confirm you, and we get you sworn in, and we throw you into the fire. Throw you into the fire. There will be an election notice mailed out tomorrow. Literally tomorrow. We okayed it this morning with the AES. There was a couple of wordings we had to redo, but typically our election notice comes out 30 days before the election. And we felt in this case, because of the special circumstances, we sent out a notice well in advance so everybody knows how to file for candidacy and all that stuff.
And it's mail-in only.
Mail-in only, with the exception of, we will allow you to bring in your ballots to the complex from 9 to 4 o'clock on election day, for those of you who don't get that in. And we will have, we will be able to, did I see we'll be able to print ballots? No.
You have to bring the one you get in the mail.
Okay. You have to bring the one you get in the mail. Yes, sir.
How are you getting around the Constitution with an absentee ballot vote? It specifically calls for polling sites.
And prior to the candidacy election in June of 2017, the legislators adopted the first election law of 2017, which instructed us the procedures and that we could follow. Do we have, I don't know if we have that, but if you want a copy, you can go by the.
Well, I've got a question on that. How can the legislators, without the approval of the KIC, making constitutional amendment?
It's not an amendment, it's a law.
It sure is. We've got a constitution telling us what to do, and you're amending that constitution by creating a law.
I'm not amending anything, sir.
Well, okay, you're following that, which is, you know, constitutional amendment.
We are following a law, so, I mean, we're, excuse my French, but we're damned if we do and damned if we don't.
Well,
so-
I suggest you follow the constitution.
Okay, my only comment on that is if you feel like there's a process that's being done that's not proper, that's against the Constitution, we have a judicial system now. That's probably your best way of recourse in that case. That's the only thing that I could suggest. And that's what I really, you're not the first one to bring that up.
You know, that could be, all your elections could be deemed not valid on this very thing.
You actually have by the ordinance, you have a timeline that you have to follow in order to, challenge an election. So anything in the past, that timeline, that'll never stand up in court. I can tell you that right now, if you haven't challenged it yet. If you wanna challenge this election now, you have a timeline that you have to follow.
Well,
And
I
if
don't
you
want
don't
to
meet that
try
time-
all this money when you know in advance that what's going on is not with the Constitution.
Again, I'm following the law that was written to
But
us.
hereafter, though, it follows its regular polling site for your district.
The law was only written to do the first election. And the reason, and I'll tell you the reason why they made that first election is because the Constitution told us we had to have an election by June of 2017, and we were notified of this in late April of 2017. So that gave us less than 45 days to actually hold an election. We couldn't set up polling sites, we couldn't set up a mailing list. There were so many things that we could not do as an election commission and still hold this election per the Constitution. And if we didn't hold the election per the Constitution, then we were in violation of the Constitution. So it's not anything that we're doing to hurt our tribe. In our opinion, we're gonna give you polling sites next year because we have to. We have to, because that law is no longer in effect. And that is, I'll tell you now, that's gonna double the cost of the elections right now. We're literally going from like a $21,000 election to about a $47,000 election by putting these polling sites at every location. Every election going forward will have to have a polling site. And it will cost you money, Kiowa people. And when we came in, that was one of the things that astonished us. I'll give you a perfect example, the Hobart district. 18 people vote out of that Hobart district. 18 people. And it costs almost $5,000 just to set up the site for 18 people. So you want to cite it, you think it's justifiable to pay $5,000 for the tribe?
Well, I've heard a lot of complaints about the mail and also people not getting their ballots.
And you're gonna hear a lot of complaints, and you're gonna have more complaints about us paying $5,000 for 18 people.
Well, if they can just drive down and cast a vote and not have to worry about not getting their ballot.
Again, the last time they set up a polling site, what you're talking about driving, last time they set up a polling site in Hobart, Oklahoma, 18 people came and showed up to vote at a polling site. That's the scenario. Now this time we had 45 people mail in their ballots. So you tell me from a financial standpoint, what is more efficient? What is more efficient? The 45 people who can sit at their couch and put their ballot on the mailbox, or the 18 people? I'm just from a financial standpoint.
I like the mail, fast, easy, boom.
And you have your critics and your non-critics, you know, and we're trying to make it more convenient for our people to cast ballots. Last election we had prior to the us being shut down, we had like 300 and something people. Now our elections are constantly in the 800-900 range. So do you want people to be more involved, or would you rather a select few decide what's going on with our tribe? I think the people outside would rather have more people involved in the process.
Again, it's just one time only.
What's?
First time, the first election we're having like that, yeah.
Well, the first two, 2017 and 2018 is under
It'd be a
the
regular
regulation.
mail-in vote, and maybe you can decide on that one.
But I can tell you right now, once we get in, to where we can start making constitutional amendments, that's the first thing I'm gonna do is take those polling, to make an amendment, take those polling sites out.
You gonna
That's
pass
a-
an amendment?
That's a,
You should do it now.
Can we do
That's
a
a-
resolution to that effect,
You
let
can.
people decide if
you
they
can,
want
but I'm
to
telling you,
or
from a
if-
financial standpoint,
Put it to a vote, then.
it just makes sense.
Put it
And
to a
it's
vote.
not,
That's right.
I don't care, because I got a commissioner
Make it
for every district.
without the
I don't have to
rules.
be
Put
at
it to a
7
vote.
places at one time, so
Leave it at
I can
that.
really care less. You know, but from a financial standpoint, you have to look at it that way. I mean, we're not concerned about putting 5,000, it's not coming out of my pocket, it's coming out of my grandkids' pocket, that's who it's coming out of. And I don't want that to happen. We can find something else to do with that $20-something thousand. We really could.
You know, when you do it to the mail, all my babies up on the assembly get the vote.
That's right.
There was, I can't remember exactly how the story went. Somebody didn't get their ballot, didn't get the vote, and there was a reason. It was not their
It's been
fault.
corrected.
I can't remember exactly.
It's been corrected.
And we do ask.
But it was a
They corrected
mistake
that.
beyond our control, or even maybe the mail.
We ask that you guys, if y'all haven't started receiving your ballots by,
The votes got turned back.
we're mailing them on the 14th, if you don't receive them
When your letter,
by the
you had to
21st,
return it.
let us
So
know,
here.
because we're going to,
You had to
you
return the
know,
address again. And
we'll do
when
what
it
we
goes
can
to the machine,
to get your ballot. If it means FedEx, and we've done that.
they were
We
counting that
FedEx
return address, so they
ballots
were sending them back.
to make sure
They
people
shouldn't
get
get
those
return
ballots.
address in the back.
We ain't like the
It should be
Seminoles
here,
down in
and
Florida.
where it's going.
Those,
That's the problem.
AES does the Seminoles in Florida, and everybody receives a ballot.
But that's why the
But they all
they
get
made a
FedEx.
change on it now.
They
got a lot of money.
They get FedEx there and they get FedEx back.
They own the
Yeah.
hardware franchise, they got lots of money.
So,
Lots of money.
but I understand your concern, trust me, but we're not doing it because, we just wanna do it. We're doing it because we were instructed to do it.
Okay, I've got a question.
Constitution.
Yes, sir.
What's the checks and balances when you count them votes?
We have we tell you what time we're counting ballots. Anybody is welcome to come in and see our ballot counting process. And we certify it right there immediately when it's done. We have commission people. We have a minimum of 2 non-commissioned people who are helping us count ballots at the time. And anybody is welcome to come and watch how we're doing this. Then our ballots are secured and they are put in our storage. And for
They all have electronic codes on them too that identify the person that mailed the envelope. So we only take one submission from each tribal member. And there's no way to duplicate that code, and there's no way to make duplicate ballots. And your ballot is counted one time only.
For instance, we send you a ballot and you send it in. Then you call and say, hey, I ain't got my ballot yet. We send you another ballot and you send it in. The first one that we scan, is counted. The second one that we sent you and we scan it, it's invalid. It's an invalid, we don't know it's you. All we know is that you are given a barcode. You're given a number. And anytime you come up and we scan you, it knows that it's you. It knows that it's a number that's attached to you. Let's put it that way. We don't know how you vote. I mean,
Yeah, inside of there is the secret ballot that's in a separate envelope, and those are separated during the voting process. So we don't know what your vote is. We only know and identify the envelope that you return the ballot.
See, a lot of people don't understand that they got other ideas how it's done.
So KIC's invited if they wanna,
oh yes, yeah.
that's good to
Heck, we're
know.
gonna put them to work.
Good.
With this technology on our future elections, we can
That's
actually mail
good.
a ballot to every single
Very
tribal
good.
member and still have open polls where you can come to a poll and get a ballot if you don't get yours in the mail. Because our computer system will identify you as a voter one time, and we either count you at the poll or we count you
as
in
an
our mail-in
absentee.
ballots.
Right.
And you will be able, if you're in District 7, you come to a powwow in Carnegie, you can vote in Carnegie.
Yeah, you don't have to stay in your district polling place, you can vote at any polling place you happen to be at on the day of the election. Because our computer system will track your vote, and you vote one time only.
Any more questions on this? And I appreciate your concerns. I mean, I know you're a concerned tribal member.
Well, I just read the Constitution, that's
Right,
what you're doing.
Right, and you got the copy of the law and stuff, so that's, again, I welcome the challenge. You know, I'm all for challenges my own self, you know, because if it was done in the wrong, then, you know,
We need to fix it.
what are we doing? What do we do? You know, we're only following the law that was handed to us.
And I will follow back to our Constitution to check the authority for this.
It was done with the best of intentions. It was
Yeah.
done so that our elections could proceed
That's all you can do.
in a
you know?
timely manner and be done in a way that was fair to everybody involved, candidates and tribal members and the election commission. It was a way to facilitate a means to the end.
You know, the ballot. The question I would ask, I don't want to be rude, I say, did you get the vote?
Thank y'all very much.
Then why you complain? And the difference, he said, I didn't get to vote by poll, I didn't get to vote by ballot. But he's voted, it's just a complaint. You can always have people out there.
There's 49 bills that we enacted. Now, do y'all want to read them, or y'all want to be passed out so you can read them? Read them? Thank you. Right here. Look at them. The next thing I would like to do is introduce the coordinator, and then she can do a little quick overview on the purpose of having that position for the Constitution. Amen.
Can I ask one question, Dave?
Hey,
I got one question.
Yeah.
What is the most important business that the legislators are facing right now within the tribe that needs to be taken care of right
Multiplication
away,
budget.
right now?
For myself, I say the budget.
Right now,
The
we have a
budget.
budget modification.
Modification, I say that.
Can y'all?
Can we tell them?
Can y'all touch on what
Have
you're?
we had an audit?
This is what I wanna tell y'all, we have
Have we
a
had an
first,
audit?
As we
the
have-
audit's
An
pending.
audit, have we had an audit?
Yes. I don't know where it is,
2014's audit is still not complete.
but 13 was. Right.
13 we didn't do. 13 Amber did.
Oh, okay. Well, it was done though, right?
13 was, and it was an F, basically, if you're looking at phrase of average. That was Amber's audit. So 2014 has been, the chairman hired somebody back in September, or before September. That audit's $90,000. It has not been completed. He said in his address in January's paper, it was completed. We've actually talked to the CFO and he told us no, they're still digging for more information. We had him in our office last Thursday. He said still They're digging for more information on 2014, so not sure when that audit's gonna be completed. What I'd like to talk to y'all about is, what we have right now, and it's sitting on the chairman's table, for either approval or a veto, and it's called the, first modification to the annual budget for fiscal year 2017 and 18. And this is money we have identified that was not in the first budget. That needs to, in order for anybody to spend, you must have the budget approved. The monies have to be approved before you can be authorized to spend monies. So there's 3 grants. One is the Head Start grant. And they had carryover monies from 16, 17, and basically 18 now. It's $851,706. And most of that is going for the 3 schools. The school here in Anadarko, the one in, the next one will be in, help me out, Nina.
Fort Sill Linden School.
Okay, Lawton, Anadarko, and then, Carnegie. Okay, those schools, the chairman has already signed a contract on them. And apparently they've gotten half of the money. $417,000 on that contract. An additional $417,000 will be due when the first school is delivered on May 13th here at Lawton. Now there's a problem at Lawton. Lawton, the water line, where it hooks up, you either go from the south or the north. The north is the Indian Hospital. No way can they cut that water meter off to do anything, to hook up any kind of school. So going to the south, okay, you got Native Son. This is KCA property, which we had hoped that the chairman is the head of KCA, yet we don't know. Are they going to help with the water line? So in this budget modification, I've identified $700,000, $500,000 to come from the casino, $200,000 to come from the KGC. $90,000 we put in for the Head Start water line. May cost us more, I don't know. If that happens, I'll find the money somewhere, one way or another. Perhaps our treasurer will find the money. This budget modification is $1,951,706 that I'm asking the people to approve. It goes for the 4 branches: executive, mainly the judicial, the legislature, and the KIC. So under the executive branch, we have that grant that has to be approved, the $90,000 water line. The legislatures all together worked hard to find where we're gonna put this $700,000, the cash money. So one place was the election commission, $90,000, because we have 3 elections coming up. They don't have the money, the primary, general, and for this election to approve this budget. The second part, we put $100,000 in social services. They've already gone through $100,000. They don't really have any money. They have LIHEAP pending. There is LIHEAP money they're using, but another $100,000. This is to be used till the end of June. Then we looked at alcohol and drug program. No time have they gotten any extra funds from the tribe whatsoever. So the legislatures wanted to put $10,000 in their budget to perhaps help with travel and gas and that type of things, and that's what we did. Then finance. Finance is having a difficult time. We have a new CFO. He, I think, worked there before, Mr. Walkenny. When I talk to him, there's pain in his eyes. They need staff training. They have an MIP operating software system that they really they're not proficient in it. They don't know how to, I don't know where they're at in it. 36,000 I put in this budget, or we put in this budget for them. Also AOA, the elders. And this is for activities such as going to the casino, trips, respite care, and the lawn services. They mow lawns, and they wanted to get a trailer and a lawnmower. So we're gonna give them that 20,000 for however they see fit to use that.
They have an existing program, but it's not sufficient.
Yeah, it's very limited. So, that's coming up where you mow lawns pretty quick. In addition to the grants that were not put in there, there was a transportation grant, $300,000. It's TTP funds. It's, money from 2016, 17, and 18 that transportation had coming to them. It's a $300,000 grant. We have that sitting as a separate bill also, that resolution.
That money's there, right?
It's coming from there. It's due them, but they've never been able to
Why
get
it
it.
wasn't taken away, drawdown, BIA did not recognize that past administration, so we couldn't do any drawdown.
So then there was this 100,000 that appeared in January. The chairman put it in his address on the front page, and it said 100,000 came to the tribe for higher education. Well, in reality, you cannot spend that money until it appears on a budget. So we put that on there. It says it came from an energy company, which I don't know why an energy company would give us 100,000. So
I can speak on that.
what is that?
That's a case on that right-of-way case that attached slide. That's
What's
the
that?
one that my sons are on.
Yeah.
Was that,
Bob Kyle 84.
Did they say,
It's,
see, we were told it was a sign-on bonus. Well, sign-on bonus
it's a-
for what?
they gave that to the tribe to use for education.
For
I
education?
remember that.
Okay, thank you for
Training, whatever
clarifying
the-
that.
the
It came from that
students
case that
needed, you know.
I had.
Okay, and I think they're
It was good.
going
It's
to
earmarked
use
for
it
that.
for master's degrees, PhDs,
Yes.
because those
Whatever's needed.
students have never been helped.
Right.
So the main thing I look for, with finding money is the judicial. Without a court, we have jurisdiction under the Congo Constitution. CFR is still acting. Somebody has a legitimate, certain type of case at CFR, they can actually get out of that case. We have the jurisdiction, the tribe has the jurisdiction. So, there's been resistance on setting up the court. So in the regular budget, we put 51,000, 150,000 more to start the court. And this is revenue that we've identified. And, to get, another thing with the court, the judge, they told me it must be secure. So, to me, on the complex, there is no security. So, it's obviously not gonna sit at the complex. I had thought maybe behind the Carnegie Casino because surveillance, security, whatever on the property. That isn't happening either. I'm thinking maybe Anadarko out here where social services is, possibly over there, but not sure with that. But that's to get us a court, the court administrator, and to get going on the court, because nobody can be held accountable for anything unless we have the judicial. So the longer we keep putting that off, it's just not good with the CFR court, not good for the tribe.
But in the beginning though, we did know we were gonna be falling short on that branch. There was no law on it, right? You were still in office.
We
That-
put
and that was-
51,000, the chairman put
That was
zero
also
in
the
there,
security
zero.
that he was supposed to develop.
Okay, so then the legislative branch, we've asked for 194,000 of that money. That's because, first of all, on the budget was $120,000 for legal fees. our lawyer was hired hourly basis, so was the chairman's. We have since found out the chairman put his lawyer on a contract of $10,000 a month. So he claimed all monies and told us we didn't have that line item. Well, he didn't have the line item either. So he's claiming all monies where we can't pay our lawyer. So, in addition to that, on February 1st, the chairman was supposed to have a budget for the new year, 2019, which is the fiscal year from July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019. So he should have had a budget on February 1st, no budget produced. We got an email from the executive director saying it's gonna be late. Well, first of all, the
He
executive
wanted us to
director
table it.
does not table, he wanted us to wait. But the executive director cannot speak for the chairman. He has no power to speak, but if they give us a budget, because then it comes to our table. So I will not make another budget that is without talking to finance and anybody else I need to talk to. I will not do that. I will not put the legislative branch at risk, so I must have the expertise to hire people to help us make a budget. So that's what we're asking for the legislature, that you help us pay our lawyer, because all monies
Four
were
lawyers,
taken
five
out.
lawyers, really.
No, not
Well, for the executive branch and for the legislature, our lawyers, there's two there.
two.
And then there's the,
Judicial lawyer.
They don't come out of the tribal
They
budget.
don't come
no,
out
but
of
I just wanna make sure. And the reason why they're asking for a little delay, they were getting information, they hadn't got all the information to prepare their budget. And that's why they asked us to table it. They didn't say
No,
how
they
long
didn't
or
ask us
whatever.
to table it, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but they did. Okay.
They said it's late.
They said it's gonna be late.
Well, you
now.
got one of those judges, you had his picture in the paper. He got picked up for pills,
He was in trouble.
passed out or something.
Which judge is that?
That kills is he was alcohol, I think.
Horrible in Cleveland County.
Okay, that is not our judge.
I don't wanna
Is
hear.
it
Well,
our
his picture was in the paper,
It was.
Oh, ARPA?
Horrible.
yeah.
Probably rule that in, then, won't it?
No, it was in Norman.
It was in Norman.
It was in Norman. It was in Norman.
I'm sorry, I haven't
I
heard
don't know
about
about the one in
that.
Norman, but I picked up there.
Okay, so then there's 10,000 additional we put in for the KIC.
I didn't know his wife was
For,
okay.
and all this
He does,
money
you
is to
know,
be spent,
music for kids
should
and
the
stuff.
tribe approve it, by June
I don't
30th.
know,
And
it's just irritating.
then,
You never know. I haven't seen
the new
anything on
budget
it.
should come forward.
I don't know about Overdale. I don't know nothing about that.
Other than that, that's all. Anybody
I'm
wants
not
any
being
questions?
defensive for the executive branch. The reason why they're slow in getting, all this put together, present this for the, election. I said, why are you guys late? They said, because we didn't have a treasurer, we didn't have a CFO, and there was another one more personnel. There was about 3 or 4 person they didn't have in place.
Well, we made
The
the budget
Constitution says
without
the
them.
first one, what do
We
you
made
do?
the budget
If it
last
doesn't
time
violate,
without all them.
we don't
Well,
want
wait a
to
minute,
be
wait a minute,
violation.
I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to make a point.
But
Let's
whose
go take
fault
on
is
the,
it that you didn't have a
between the eyes.
treasurer?
I'm saying, you guys knew how important the budget was. Don't give us any reason to be delayed. This goes through by y'all. I said, so we wanna look, if we don't have a budget,
Well, their chairman waited so long, trying to get a treasurer, he wouldn't, select anyone. And when I asked him about Plata, he didn't like her, so he wasn't gonna appoint her. That's what he told me.
I wouldn't have taken it.
That's what he told me.
I wasn't willing to.
We made the statement that the executive branch or Mr. Demonte is retaining an attorney for $10,000 per month.
I guess, even
That's
for
pretty much
contract.
the standard rate that has gone on with the tribe over 10 years. Did you not know
But
that?
it
Amos
might,
got it, Riley got it.
but then you mentioned that that you was retaining attorneys on an hourly rate, which would be the most cost effective.
That's how I thought, because at the beginning, when I was treasurer, there was only one bill from Ryan, and I didn't like how that bill.
I thought it was a, what's it,
So there was only
contract,
one bill.
contract.
You know, in that.
I'm sorry, I'm way behind here.
I'm sorry.
I thought Robert Little was under contract.
He is.
Okay, you said.
He is, but they put.
A lot of this is on a contract,
Do you
$10,000 a
legislators
day,
have
a
a
lot of money.
lawyer, and then the chairman has a
Yes.
lawyer?
Each branch has their lawyers, they can have,
Almost every branch has a lawyer.
Every branch?
No,
Even the
not
casinos,
every
even the casinos have a lawyer.
Those are different lawyers.
Not every branch.
right, executive legislation all has
We don't have
a.
one yet, but I promise you, we're thinking about it.
Your concerns,
Don't start that, Dad, you don't need that.
your concerns is that
Start
you're not
anymore.
there, bring
We
her
get our
up.
name right off of Google.
Here we go.
We just Google.
I want her to tell her role and what y'all have to do in order to get where y'all want to push it in the right direction.
Yes, I'm going to present, I'm going to present a resolution. I don't have it written yet, but I'll get it to the complex for you.
Okay.
And, after going to the meeting on the 13th,
I'm not gonna
which
talk
was a
about her
big
putting the chairman down,
fiasco,
even though he
nobody
deserves it.
knew anything.
Well, the
I'm
other
going
thing
to
with this,
present
we have a constitutional
One
law
that's
back
being
for
presented
good
down
work.
in
We
Comanche
have to
Country.
wait, then if we wait,
They're
we
presenting
would
this
be in
and it
default
pertains
too,
to our
so
chairman.
we took care of what we can't
It's
take
an
care of right now.
article,
And we are,
duties
and
of
that's our
officer,
duties anyway,
section
Yeah,
the
one.
legislature.
Mine will
Go
read
ahead
very
and do it, we
simple,
have to go ahead and do it.
because I want the same
And that's what we
thing.
did, we took care of it, so
The
he's safe now.
amendment reads, the chairman exercises the authorities and powers as delegated to his office by this constitution and the Kiowa Tribal Council. He shall preside at all meetings of the tribal council and the business committee, and be the principal member of all tribal delegations. I want that because he does, and if we get into this same kind of a mess again, we're gonna have a chairman that's not telling anybody else what he's doing. Because when we asked the legislators questions Saturday, they didn't know. And of course, both sides get aggravated because we want answers, but if they don't have answers, they can't give us answers. And, that's why I want to present this, so we can, if only the chairman's going to know, he needs to be at the meeting so we can get some answers.
Just be careful on the word.
Well, if you don't like it, don't vote for it.
I'm not saying a damn thing.
Well, the way you're looking.
Just be
Well, I
careful.
was looking at your big mouth.
Well, I do have a big mouth, but I say that for the people.
Just be careful on the wording, because there isn't a business committee anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
legislation.
All right, does everyone have a resolution that you could look at and consider what you'd like to turn in by Wednesday? I'll accept them up to midnight, and, you can bring them to me, you can fax them to me, you can email them to me, whatever's available for you to get them to me, please do it, because this is something that you would like to request for all of KIC to look at and discuss and approve possibly on April 7th. And on April 7th, the doors will open at 8, and once we establish a quorum, we will begin. And we'll have, the resolutions posted for everyone to see. I'll get an agenda prepared, once the deadline passes on Wednesday, February 21st, then I'm gonna be preparing an agenda for April 7th, and then my workday will be including all these resolutions that you're turning in. Now, as you turn them in, if I have any questions, I will contact you, so hopefully you have some contact information with it, so that I'm able to communicate with you, so that we're clear about what you're requesting. Yes.
I'm interested in requesting some dump sites for these roll-offs at, say, Apache Y and, say, Hall Creek, or, you know, so we can clean our yards, you know, old furniture and all that thrown in there.
Do you have
Throw
one?
it in there.
Do you have one?
You know, that's what I want, so
I
we
have
can
a question, should have,
clean our yards.
I'm going to put in
Yeah,
another
yeah.
issue on burial.
Okay.
Okay, but also I had,
No, rather.
Kyle women in the Carnegie area saying that the $100 that they get over the burial fee for like feeding and whatever else they may have to borrow or buy is not enough. Can I put that on one, or do I have to make two issues out of it?
So one is burial and the other is
Is,
expense.
yeah, expenses over that burial, does it have to be separate?
Only if you want them tied in together. If you want them tied in together, tie in together. But if you want it, you know what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying? If you want it tied in, make your resolution and tie it in together, and that way it's one resolution where they have to do both.
But if they want the burial and not the expense, I could do both of them. Right?
That's true.
Huh?
Okay, okay, thank you.
So,
Get you some water, yeah.
remember, Wednesday, this week, the 21st is our deadline. So I'll be Wednesday.
I do graduate projects.
Wednesday's gonna be a busy day because I'm looking forward to these resolutions. And I hope that we have, because KIC numbers at what's our KIC folder number?
6,000 plus, what,
How many are eligible?
Yeah.
9,800.
So out of 9,000, let's see how many KIC are going to request for us to review and possibly approve on April 7th. So it's gonna be an exciting day. I'm looking forward to it.
It's a different process again. Again, this KIC meeting is gonna be another new process for the tribe. And I hope everybody comes in with an open mind, understanding the process. Because, obviously not everybody's gonna get their resolutions passed. There's gonna be, upset people, you know, but we've gotta get away from the griping and the name calling and stuff like that, because we're not setting a good example for our younger generation that we need. We need the younger generation to come in and be able to come in and attend these meetings without having to watch their elders go at each other.
Yeah.
We lean on y'all to set the example for us, so we can set the example for our kids. And we need our kids to start getting more involved in this process, because that is our future. Our grandkids are our future, just like at one time y'all were our future. So this new process is gonna be very trying. David, I applaud you for stepping up and taking on this responsibility, because it's probably gonna get a little, heated, and it really doesn't need to. I mean, take it for what it is. Just, if you take your defeat, just go on to the next one. Go next year, let's go at it and fight a little harder next year. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with this Constitution, a lot. But, I mean, what can I do? It's here, I gotta follow it. You know, I wanna touch on your situation on the, election law. I ask that you, please, if you disagree with it, do something about it now. Don't wait until we're, certifying votes. And whether you're running, your family member's running, or whoever, and then they get defeated, and then you're gonna challenge the law. Or if you're gonna challenge the law, challenge it now. Do it now. Don't hold up our process. Don't hold up our forward progress. Because if you do it then you're costing the tribe thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars if we have to have another election. So that's all I ask. If you know of anybody who wants to challenge that law, please tell them to do it now, so that we can delay the process rather than redo the process. Okay, that's all I'm asking on that note.
I just want to touch on one thing, is our burials, what we owe, I think we got it under control. In other words, we only owe maybe 15,000-20,000, it's not way up there. And I think on the budget,
5,000.
so, and then we put on the budget, I think we put around 500,000. But we really been having a loss in our. So I'm glad that we allocated what we did for the budget based on the numbers that we're doing right now.
I think it's 580,000.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I'm glad that we do adequately budget a lot of the money for our burials. So if you got any other things you want to address, we got.
I was talking with the lawyers. I got a niece that kicked around about one lawyer at Chickasha and Watonga and Tulsa. Because the lawyers are each, they each have a field. They each have a distinct field. And you can't hire some driver lawyer for your mortgages, you know, and you can't get a tax lawyer on somebody who's in jail for domestic abuse, you know. And I didn't like the way they keep my niece around from all these different lawyers, 4 lawyers, at her house, right here in West Town. So the lawyers, I see them over there, I saw them over there at the complex with the criminal lawyer, drug driving lawyer. I don't know if he's any good on them, because he's one of the lawyers that messed up my little niece, you know? I just good advice, I'm trying to get good advice, and make sure you know your lawyer's doing things that that's his field.
I'll second him, so.
There's a last word, non-couples, what are they?
I don't know the truth about it.
Non-couples.
I
They
don't
like to
either.
use
I
their
think
talk
he has
about our heads.
more memory
Because
than
they
more than
don't know what's
that.
going on.
Gibbs Holmes,
He might not
he's a
even be
federal
a
United States attorney.
mortgage lawyer, he might not even be a real estate lawyer, you know. He's one that just knows how to tell a bad divorce law.
Well, at $10,000 a month, you
$10,000.
can handle everything, you know,
That's why we were in the grave for 5-6 years.
everything, yeah.
They paid somebody $10,000 a month. What was done? Just to keep us in the grave. Every time we try to come out of the grave, they Lord, put us back down.
It's over 100,000 a year.
120,000 a year.
And that's, I just want to bring that up.
You got 5
They better,
I can see that, I can see
just
that.
to, clarify the process a little more on, what happens after February 21st.
Okay, I'm going to, hopefully have a secretary this week, I've been asking for one, to help me review the resolutions that are on hand. And then, once we get them organized so that there's no duplicate resolutions, I will be contacting, if there is, I wanna contact and let them know that we've got like 3 resolutions that read the same. And we want to consider, do you want all 3 that are saying the same message request? Because if you do, then I'm gonna have to discuss that with the election and then with the KIC. I wanna speak to the KIC about it because I don't, you know, you wanna be fair about everyone's requests, and every request is important to each of us. So if that does happen, then I'm gonna have to contact the people that submitted them and ask, what do you want me to do with the 3 that are identical? Because we've got to only have one. We just want one request, and it has the same message. So do you all want to author it? All 3 of you want to author the one request that's speaking the same message? Because if you do, that would really help the task at hand. So
On that note, real quick.
yes.
Maybe on your bylaws or policies and procedures going forward, you could put that in your bylaws where you have multiple, resolutions that they can be all authored by
The same.
all the same people.
Yes.
Just going forward.
Just to
that
be
will-
fair.
Right.
Yes, I agree.
And then, okay, so after you get these, resolutions in on the 21st, what is the next process?
Okay, after that, then I've got an agenda to prepare that has to be 30 days ahead of April 7th. So then I'd like to organize them for publication, and then hopefully meet with you all. We discussed April.
That's after the, KIC.
Yes. Okay, that's in April. So then I want to get it prepared for publication. I want to use the Kiowa Tribe newsletter for one avenue. Then I also would like to reach out to all KIC to let them see what was turned in and submitted, and see what the resolutions are that's gonna prepare us for April 7th. So it's gonna be a mail out for sure. There's gonna be the newsletter for sure. There's gonna be the KIC website as also means of communicating, so that you guys, I'll have it uploaded as something that you can download and print, so that you can look at it carefully. And then go to April 7th with that information.
What happens on April 7th?
Okay, April 7th, we're gonna all come in and be prepared to discuss what has been published to you all with these resolutions. I'd also like to be similar to what happened in December 16th. I would like to see door prizes provided to those who show up, and I'm requesting that everyone will be fed continental breakfast and a lunch. And then I've got to figure out, I've been speaking to our IT people to see how we can post this as a big screen for us to see each resolution that pops up. Now, the one area that I'm still working on is District 7, because District 7 wants to be included, and they feel like that they're being disconnected because they're not there physically, but they want to be communicating about these resolutions. But according to our election, that in order to be counted as a vote, you need to be present physically, correct? So they are voicing concerns about that issue because they want to be a part of this, especially since their vote counts, but yet they're not able to afford the visit in Carnegie on April 7th. So they feel like that's not fair. They want to be a part of that discussion. They want to be a part of what's being presented. As they submit their resolutions, they feel like they should be. So I think that's something that I'm pretty sure that's a resolution that should come through for us to consider, to allow them to be a part even though they cannot afford to travel to be there. So their number is what? District 7, how many?
7,000 tribes. 7,000.
7,000 in number for District 7?
Yeah, 7,000, so how do you?
So they're
It's
giving
about
5,000?
Yeah. It's about half of them. It's a little over half.
So that isn't fair.
Well, it's never been fair.
Well,
So-
what I was thinking, what they could do is, split up, the United States outside of our area, and then the tribe should be able to bring them in from different
parts of the United States, whoever, it's so important to
As a
do
rep,
that. I mean, yeah.
a traveling
And
rep.
bring them in,
They
pay
can
for
be
their
involved in
travel.
the discussion, but
You know?
there's no way to
Yeah,
vote.
they can't vote.
There's no
And
secure
even the
way to vote.
Comanches don't do that.
I mean,
They have money.
if I lived in Washington DC and I said I wanted to travel about.
Especially if you have a resolution.
That's a lot to try.
We were up there,
What
and no
happens if I don't-
resolutions were brought forward.
What happens if I get the travel voucher and I decide not to go?
Turn it back in.
I mean, you know,
That's the way to do it, people will spend it.
No, I've already cashed this travel voucher, I'm sorry, but, you know, oh, wait, my car broke down.
Or family emergency or anything.
My car broke down on the way to the
If
airport.
you truly want to.
Unless it's a good one, like.
Yeah.
Blowout.
That's my
I
concern.
went to casino.
Yeah, that's a good start, yeah.
I went to casino and I forgot.
Not that anybody would ever do it.
If it's that, well,
If it's
yeah,
that-
if it's that important, they'll come.
District 7, Modena, went from Washington, no resolutions were presented to us. So,
But just to make note on that, the resolutions that are, presented to you are brought up to the KIC. The KIC votes on those resolutions to either accept them or reject them.
Right.
The coordinator has no control over that. The election commission has no control. The legislators or the executive branch have no control over that. The KIC makes that decision. Again, that's where the heated discussions are gonna come at. You know, how are you gonna do that voting process? Are you gonna do it by a show of hands? Will the election commission be involved in that show of hands? I mean, how are we gonna do that?
I would appreciate the election commission there for the vote of hand.
As a spokesperson for the election commission, I would ask that we get KIC members, off the floor to maybe potentially do that. We don't, the election commission wouldn't have a problem with, maybe tabulating those votes. But, to keep the controversy away from the process and keep it on the KIC, to keep it on the KIC because it is a KIC meeting, I think the KIC should be the ones counting the votes.
How about, like, put up a paper or something, say if you would like to be a counter, put your name here and we'll get in touch with you.
Right, right.
As they sign in, as they sign in.
Yeah, as they sign in, yeah.
Coordinate that.
Yeah, just say, if you want to be a counter, sign this, yeah.
That keeps the controversy from the election commission maybe being too involved. Yeah.
And just say, sign here, and then we'll come and talk to you, how we'd like you to count.
We don't have a problem tabulating the votes,
But we'll put it in your hands.
but we'd rather KIC, because, I mean, technically, we're KIC too, obviously.
Yeah.
But
And if
we're gonna
we're
vote.
submitting them,
We're-
they're submitting them. so
we're also
it's the
there
same
in an official
Yeah.
capacity as well.
You have a representative.
Yeah, before.
We Is have there a members place on from where here we put our name and address, or you can approve or disapprove it by letter, you know? Oh, I have to put a cover letter? Oh, okay. Okay.
That's how it gets sent.
Oh, all right.
So whenever it's sent to me, how I print it, and then.
Do a regular letter, do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Karen, announce, you need a representative from this district. Anybody wants to?
Yeah, we need an election commissioner from the Anadarko area, so y'all know of anybody, or you yourself want to?
And I'll tell you,
Commission?
I'll tell you right now, the Anadarko district.
I don't think they want me down there.
I'll tell you right now, the Anadarko district is the second the Anadarko district is the second largest district in the tribe. They're bigger than Carnegie district. Almost double the size of Carnegie district. I'm just letting you know. Y'all have a very large voice. Very large voice.
Well, we have two representatives.
So, but thank y'all, I gotta hit the highway. Thank y'all.
David, he's got a question.
Thank y'all.
So 10 more days, what do we owe on that casino?
No report from the casino.
Huh?
There was no report from the casino.
The note that you were looking.
17 million.
Technical billion, all things, we don't need to have everything up there. Generally, how do we know each month or two, everything, we got a meeting, we got a meeting 2 days there at the bar.
Starting tomorrow.
Yeah, 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and, oh, what's on that?
I lost my religion.
You did, Hall Creek religion.
Well, I think we're done. That or there, I cussed her out.